Hey, welcome back to Comic Book Straight Talk. This is Terry the French Tickler French.
Captain Dalian.
Eric the Knucklehead Eaton. We've got our special guest host from last time back with us again today.
Kenny.
This week on the podcast, we're going to go out on a limb. We're going to talk comics. Kind of our top 5 or top picks of reading, what we're following currently. We're going to start off. Captain Dalian, lead the way.
I'm enjoying Paper Girls.
Okay.
I've mentioned before on the show, it's a book that just recently came out by Scout called Girion.
Mm-hmm.
Art's kind of a dark crystal kind of art in that movie. I've enjoyed Detective from Batman and from DC's been real good.
Are you following a lot of the Rebirth still?
I've narrowed it down some.
Okay.
So it's not as much as it was.
So he's no longer getting both covers
no
of
getting
every.
both covers of every one of them.
Mike almost fell down the basement.
Yeah, he did.
Yes. he couldn't believe you're still getting both covers.
Both covers, yes.
I've been enjoying Detective as well.
Detective has
been very good.
Are you enjoying more the artwork or the storyline?
No, the artwork's been fine. Nothing spectacular, I don't think, but the story has been really good.
I think we can all agree. Bottom 5 definitely would be Cage.
Yes,
Oh,
Cage.
Cage
And
Solo.
Well, with Cage, all Marvel had to do was put an average artist on that book, and it would have sold thousands. But
yeah, that artwork looks horrible.
that's awful.
I mean, it's the cartoony kind of looking.
It's got a little bit of a manga feel, however.
Well, it's the guy that did Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack.
My last two, I'd say, would probably be the Star Wars.
Yeah, I
Darth
enjoy
Vader
Star
and
Wars.
stuff, yeah. Wayward from Image.
How about you, Tickler?
Like that, I've been enjoying Detective, been enjoying that storyline. I've been enjoying some of the characters in it. I still enjoy Clayface as a hero.
It's interesting. It's especially in that last storyline, the Monster Men storyline they did. They had him spread out, and so he had he made multiple copies of himself and was doing other things, and it's.
Well, he's doing all sorts of things with himself. I mean, like in the one issue, a couple issues back probably now, where they needed protection and he's like swarmed around them, shot up into the air and got them out of there. Pretty interesting. I like that he's trying to redeem himself. He still wants to be an actor, but he's not really sure how to go about that.
Well, and Batman's helping him since he's helping do this thing.
Right, Batman's kind of helping me out.
The thing I didn't like about Detective, though, is kind of a soft spot for myself, is my favorite Robin died, supposedly.
Stephanie Brown.
No, Tim Drake.
Yeah, Tim Drake. I've never been a big Green Lanterns fan, but I'm still really enjoying the Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
The plural Green Lanterns.
Yes, the plural Green Lanterns.
And actually, the Hal Jordan, both Green Lantern books have been really good.
I enjoy that there's these two characters just trying to figure out their powers, figure out what they can do, can't do. It's interesting with the one Green Lantern where he can actually resurrect people from being really sick or even possibly dead, and he actually turns one Red Lantern in one of the early issues.
Yeah.
Basically the second.
But Blase.
Right.
Yeah, it returns her back to what she was.
Turns her back.
Yeah.
She started to she started getting raged again and started going back that way, and then she left to take off. So it's interesting. His power's interesting. The other girl, she can't form a construct, so that has been interesting, that storyline. So it's been a really good read. And then Hal Jordan basically teamed them up to where they had to learn from each other by basically, if they needed to recharge their rings, they had to do so together. It's kind of helped them and hurt them at the same time. Been enjoying Nightwing as well. At first I didn't, but then it started picking up, and I'm liking some of the villains that he's with, or not really against, but sort of teaming up with.
Raptor.
The Raptor.
Working with Court of Owls. Yeah.
So I think that's been kind of interesting.
So it's not emo anymore?
No, it has. Since that one issue,
it's not
that one issue was very emo. Batgirl, I've actually enjoyed. She
Regular Batgirl, not Batgirl in the Birds of Prey.
Right, just regular Batgirl. Hate the costume. I think a lot of people do. They hate the shoulder pads. I do too. But I've enjoyed the storyline. She's
still got the yellow combat boots.
I think so.
But Babs, she sort of takes a break. She goes to Japan. She's going to meet up with Nightwing, and just take it easy. And of course, she sees another friend and then gets involved in some other stuff and finds some other people that are kind of can kick her butt as well. So she's learning a little bit more martial arts from them. I don't know. It hadn't been a real complicated story, but it's been pretty interesting. And also another one, little known title. It's been pretty interesting. is Queen of Vampires. I think all three of us have been reading that.
Mhm.
It's been pretty good. Kenny kind of compares it to a Conan title.
While I'm reading that story, I keep expecting Conan to bust through the gates of the castle and kill her. It has that much of a Conan feel to it.
Yeah, it's. I don't think a lot of us initially signed up for it. So, but
I think I signed up for the first issue just because of the painted cover.
Yeah,
was
just
so gorgeous.
It was really gorgeous, and then once it was up here and people started seeing it, I think a lot of people started picking it up. But definitely a sort of a book that's kind of flying under the radar. Definitely worth picking up, Queen of the Vampires, especially if you like that sword and sorcery, Conan type style book.
Well, it's kind of in a way, kind of a Games of Thrones kind of story too, in
Right.
a way. So,
Right.
Because you got the people plotting against
Power
her.
struggles
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
Mhm. Definitely pick that one up. So, Kenny, what top 5 do you
Well,
have for us?
I have more than 5
That's
because
fine.
everyone knows me knows anything by Ed Brubaker I'm going to buy, and it's going to be my favorite.
Even that My Little Pony title that you guys got.
Yeah, if he ever
Signed
does
up
My
for that,
Little
right?
Pony, I'm going to buy 2 copies.
One for you, one for your daughter.
Well, 3 copies. I'm just kidding. So yeah, Velvet that he's doing with Steve Epting, fantastic. In my opinion, it's a better James Bond book than the James Bond book that Warren Ellis is doing.
That kind of leads me to Lazarus too. That's been a good book.
And Killer Be Kill, which is his new one with Sean Phillips and Elizabeth Breitweiser, about a guy who tries to kill himself and survives and is visited by a demon that tells him he has to kill people or he'll end up dying. And so he becomes a vigilante. It's pretty great. So anyway, I didn't really count those in my top 5 because it's Brubaker. I'm going to buy it, and it's going to be my favorite title that's currently going. I say Black Widow right now. Mark Waid and Chris Samney are just hitting it out of the park on that one.
They did the last series of Daredevil.
Yes, they did
Before
the last series of
relaunched
Daredevil.
it, yeah.
And what set theirs apart from every other Daredevil run was it had in no way a Frank Miller feel to it. It was lighthearted. It was a fun book. It was, the bright colors and everything. Wasn't even in Hell's Kitchen. He was in San Francisco for half of it.
Well, Black Widow, not just their particular run, but
The Edmondson run.
some of
was
the following runs have been better. Has been some of the best Marvel stuff that they've been putting out.
Yeah.
Is the Black Widow stuff.
I think Nathan Edmondson and Phil Noto started that whole thing, focusing more on her being a spy than an Avenger. And then Wade and Samney took over, and they're knocking it out of the park too. And I've actually heard a lot of people come in here to the shop and say that they think that's what they should do a Black Widow movie about is the Wade and Samney run. Another book that I think is just super fun is Lady Killer by Joelle Jones. Love that book. 50s, you can tell she's done a lot of research on 50s fashion and 50s cars and the whole feel. It's just fantastic. And the last issue or the first issue of this new series, she goes to it. She's a Tupperware lady, and she has these Tupperware parties and then kills. She's an assassin, so she kills the people. Well, she goes to get trash bags to put the body parts in so she can get rid of them, and they don't have any trash bags. So she ends up using her Tupperware to get rid of the bodies. So it's a fun read.
How do you feel about the art in that book as well?
I love the art.
I enjoyed the art in that as well.
I think Joelle Jones is quickly becoming one of the best artists in comics.
I've also enjoyed who's doing the coloring in that book too.
Oh yeah, Laura Allred.
It's just really good. Just really brings out the colors of, when you think of maybe the 50s and stuff, sometimes you may think a little bit, just from old movies, kind of dull or something like that.
Right.
But her coloring is just really bright and vivid, really good.
She does have a nice style.
I think
Joelle.
Yeah, but Laura Allred actually won was nominated for an Eisner for that series for Lady Killer. So yeah, and anyone who if you don't know who Joelle Jones is, she's the one that's been doing all the Mockingbird covers, and those have been just gorgeous. So another book, I agree with Dal, Paper Girls. Man, what a fun read that is.
It's kind of, in a way, kind of what Stranger Things is.
Yeah, it does kind of have a
Yeah,
Stranger
yeah.
Things type feel to it.
I haven't read Stranger Things. Dad didn't think I'd like Stranger Things, but I do like Paper Girls. So
I think you'd
wait a
like
minute. I'm thinking of another book.
It's another Mockingbird
Stranger Things
Black
is-
Canary.
I'm thinking something else. Never mind.
Hillbilly by Eric Powell. It's basically Goon set in the woods. It's great. And believe it or not, Archie.
The Mark Waid.
Mark Waid again. I think right now Mark Waid, outside of Brubaker, is probably the best writer in comics now.
What's funny
Because his Birthright sells like crazy too.
Yeah, Birthright is good.
All new, all different Avengers that he's writing. As much as crap's been going on, Civil War II and all that, it's actually been a pretty good book, and Wade's writing it. So I mean,
I would say that Afterlife with Archie and Sabrina would be in my top 5, but they come out so sporadically that I didn't even mention them. I have a feeling that this book will end up in my top 5, but only one issue's been out right now, and that's Jessica Jones. Super stoked about Bendis and Malief both being back for that. The first issue was pretty good. We'll see if
that's kind of a rare thing to have the original creative team back on a book like that,
especially after all this time.
Yeah.
And then I think an honorable mention is in order.
Think so.
Britannia from Valiant.
I was going to ask. Yeah, I know you picked up the 2, and it's been.
I do want to read that. I've not had a chance to read that.
Oh, it's taking what? It's the Celtic Druid mythology and
the Roman Centurion and some Cthulhu-y stuff going on.
I thought was interesting to me about the Virgin Vessels.
Vestal Virgins.
Vestals, Virgins. Virgin Vestals. I was thinking the song, Deeper Shade of Gray.
Yeah.
Or Whiter Shade of Pale. That's right.
You'll get it there.
I'll get it there, yeah. That's okay. Terry's not the only one that make blunders.
Yeah, I have to have a classic blunder every time. So yeah, those sound like some good books. I definitely I need to read or someone need to catch up on too. What about you, Eric? Have you got top 5?
Yeah, mine. I like Star Wars. I've enjoyed it since it came out last year. And then they had the little mini series that they came out with, and then Vader. Vader finished up. But the thing that I'm enjoying, they've done the Leia miniseries, they did the Chewbacca miniseries, the Lando, the little C-3PO one-shot. They just finished up The Force Awakens, and I'm enjoying the Poe Dameron series. But the thing I enjoy about Star Wars, all the miniseries kind of supplement some of the storyline going on with the main,
right.
But you don't have to pick them up because you're not feeling like you're missing something. Like a lot of, Marvel is more notorious for it, where you're reading along something and then they mention something else, that's happened monumentally or some milestone. Now you have to go pick up another book just so that way you can find out kind of what's going on. But with the Star Wars, if you pick up the little sideline series, you're not going to miss out if you don't pick them up. If you do pick them up, it'll add to it as far as kind of the appreciation of the mainline series, the Star Wars series. But the little mini series, I do enjoy those.
Well, like the Princess Leia one kind of dealt with like her doing a little side deal to get some of the supposedly the refugees from Alderaan, I think. Yeah,
which it was kind of neat. When they touch back on, the original trilogy, it's pretty neat because it kind of gives you some more background. I enjoyed the novels, the regular Star Wars novels, and that was, a lot of those fill in the time blanks. And these new books are pretty good. I enjoy the artwork, storyline.
What I've read of them, I don't feel like I need to go back, like you said, go back and read anything else, but I also don't feel like I need to go back and read any of the history, the novels or anything like that either.
Right.
These are standalone stories.
Well, especially now, and I think we've discussed before, everything now is in canon with the writing team, the Star Wars committee, what they call them, kind of making sure everything lines up right now. So all the little mini-series, that like the Han Solo, I think, dealt with him before the Battle of We Meet Him in Star Wars, or was it?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, or it was like a little side mission, something. I think they're all like little side missions, but yeah.
Do you think they'll ever cross over like they could do Poe Dameron and Iron Fist?
No. No, hopefully not.
The sound you just heard was all the fanboys raging.
No, that's one thing I hope Marvel and Disney and Star
Howard the Duck and that stupid rabbit character.
Oh, yeah.
The green rabbit.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Jax. I think it is Jax.
Yeah.
And then I've tried to pick up some of the Batgirl stuff. The Rebirth stuff is really good. Only down thing I don't like about the Rebirth is I wish they would drop the Rebirth at the top. I mean, every
banner.
Rebirth, the banner. I wish they'd just do the full cover.
Well,
everyone gets it. They're in, issue 4, 5, 6, 7.
Going back to Star Wars, out of all the Star Wars books that have been coming out, which Star Wars book would you recommend the most?
The mainline series.
Vader.
Vader was pretty good.
Yeah, I would go Vader as well.
Vader was pretty good because you saw more behind the scenes as far as him letting down the Emperor.
Well, yeah,
because he
screwed up,
and then going through Boba Fett and all that stuff. Yeah. So that was pretty neat. But I did like that they were same storyline as Star Wars, but just two perspectives.
I will say though that when I started reading the new Star Wars, it felt like I was in 1977, and it was a continuation of the movie.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. They haven't came out with anything spectacular, like suddenly Luke's got a magical, different lightsaber that he didn't have in, the original series, and which I do like that. They're keeping pretty close to
Well,
their.
and they kind of introduced, as I mentioned earlier, about like an elite group of stormtroopers
Oh yeah.
that showed up a couple issues back, and I think they're in the newest one getting ready to come out,
Mhm.
which is something we haven't had in any other Star Wars series that
Right.
I can remember. So
And the interesting thing, some of the new characters that they've introduced, like the Vader with Afra and Vader number 3, if you go back and watch the original trilogy, it doesn't take anything away from it, and the storyline still goes along perfect as far as you can understand why maybe this person wasn't mentioned or this person wasn't there, because, with the comics, it's happened at a different time, but along with that continuity.
So
Pretty
does Afra end up becoming a good guy, or is she still working for Vader?
No, well, we're going to spoiler warning territory here. Vader 25. Vader realizes, kind of is back in the good graces with the Emperor. Well, he has a loose thread he has to take care of. So she pulls a Brer Rabbit. Don't throw me out the airlock. I'm scared of that. Well, what happens? She throws her out of the airlock, and she ends up living. But now she's hiding. She'll be hiding from Vader, and she's actually getting her own series in January. So,
by Kieran Gillen, who wrote
right, by
Dr.
Karen
Vader.
Gillan, right, and art by Kev Walker is doing the art on it. So
Much
Walker does
rather
some
it would
good
have
stuff.
been Jamie McKelvey, but okay.
yeah. Oh, I think a lot of people would have. Yeah.
Gillen and McKelvey are another one of those teams that just mesh very well.
Yeah, they're
Well,
pretty
from
good duo.
their first the phonograph series that they did, and then Wicked and Divine.
The problem with Wicked and Divine is McKelvey didn't draw half the issues.
Yeah.
They had guest artists.
Is he back on it now, or is he still guest starting?
Yes.
I know you're getting it. I didn't know if you were sort of behind on it, so I'm sorry.
Any books, not a top 5, but any books that you would kind of steer people clear of?
Anything written by
Cage.
Marguerite Bennett.
She is.
No, just move on.
Have you picked
I
up
don't want to
Space
offend
Knight?
anyone.
There's one book that I don't know if I want to really steer people clear, but it's a very tough read to get into. 2 issues have come out, and that's the Blue Monday book.
Black Monday.
Black Monday.
Black
Black
Monday
Monday.
Murders.
Black
There's
Monday
3
Murders.
issues.
3 issues now? 3 issues. That's right.
The first issue was.
It's a good book, but man, it takes a lot of effort to get through it.
Yeah.
I kind of think back when I read the first issue of it, but I read the Angels and Demons, the Dan Brown deal with the Illuminati novel back when it came out, or a couple of years ago. And I would have to actually, when I got through reading it, I have to actually sit there and think about what I read, because it's talking about quantum mechanics and quantum sciences and the Big Bang. All this stuff was way over my head, and but yeah, the Black Monday.
Black
Monday Murders is kind of
is-
that way. So
It's like that. It'll take you a while to get into it, but then when you get to a certain portion of the book, it's really interesting. But yeah, it's a tough read, I'd say.
It's an interesting story, though.
So with Kenny and Captain, you guys will have a little more experience. Have you seen anyone dropping off a lot of the Rebirth stuff? I mean, it was exciting, first came out, all those
right.
Those new storylines
Cyborg,
pretty good.
man. That
Yeah.
you talk about a book everyone was excited about, and then it just died a miserable death, like quick. Cyborg, new Superman.
Yeah.
Wow. I think Mike ordered like 40 copies of number 1, or sold 40 copies of
Yeah.
number 1, and then sold like 9
Number
copies
two.
of number 2. So
Yeah, I think the numbers are starting to level out to what they were pre-Rebirth. Yeah, but
they're up a little.
They're up a little on some, like Detective and Action. I think are I would say probably the best-selling DCs would probably be Detective, Action. I'd say Deathstroke.
And then the Superman book's supposed to be
Right.
really good.
Right.
I hate Superman, so I won't read it.
See, I
Yeah,
don't either. And
Action's-
that's a book I could
Right.
drop easily, but
Action Superman, I don't really care for either, but the story's been pretty good, and it's. I always guess it's hard to write for that particular character because he is just so invincible. But giving him a family
mhm.
has kind of, I don't know, I guess put him in perspective.
Well, and
somehow.
when with Superman, he's training
Relatable.
Relatable.
He's training
definitely.
his son Jonathan, and so that's kind of interesting to see the development of the kid's powers and how he has to figure out how to train things. And
Another good one has been Wonder Woman. Even though Rucka ran Frank Cho off the variant covers.
I want to like that book, and I've enjoyed some of them, but maybe it's every other issue I like.
Yeah, how the odd issues are one storyline and the even issues are another.
So you kind of get it's kind of,
and it's two different artists.
right.
Yeah.
Granted, though, Liam Sharp's doing real good. I think it's just knowing that the next issue won't continue that, and you have to think, yeah.
Any new outbreaks with Marvel as far as popularity wise?
I actually sat down and read The Champions.
It was great.
It was good.
Again, Mark
Waid. Yeah.
If you haven't checked it out yet, Ms. Marvel.
Yeah.
When they announced, we're going to have this teenage Pakistani girl living in New Jersey be Ms. Marvel.
And she's Muslim.
Well, and Muslim. Yeah, I was just like, what? That is like the stupidest idea ever. I'm never going to buy that book. And now I have every single issue. That book's fantastic. Punisher's really good. Becky Cloonan's doing a good job with that. Unfortunately, we lost Steve Dillon this past weekend.
Right. Yes.
What other Marvel books are there that are good? There's so few of them.
There are. I personally, and I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. For me, a fun book is Gwenpool. Just to see, it's been fun.
I, being the Moon Knight fanboy, have enjoyed Moon Knight, but it's not. I wouldn't recommend it for everyone. It's just weird.
A little off center.
Yep.
Well, it's Jeff Lemire.
He's always been that way, though.
Yeah, Moon Knight has always been off center.
Except the Mark Spector
Right.
series in the 80s, where he didn't really start off being off center on that one.
No,
What about Carnage? Is that any good?
I don't know.
it's
I've read-
okay.
Mike Perkins is doing the art.
Right, it is
but
Perkins, yes.
Now
Do you
there-
guys follow the Silver Surfer at all?
I do.
You like it? The new
Yes,
series?
because it's Mike Allred, and I'll buy anything Mike Allred does. It's quirky.
I read.
I'd compare it to Doctor Who. If you like Doctor Who, you'll probably like Silver Surfer. It's that kind of quirkiness. And I know a lot of people don't like Allred's art. I'm a huge fan. I think the guy's a genius.
I can see shades of Kirby in him.
Yeah.
And a lot in there. So I mean,
A lot of people say Mike Allred isn't a comic artist; he's the pop artist.
right.
I see that. Yeah.
Well,
I can see both Kirby and the Park Potters thing.
Well, that's
I'm not a big fan of Aldridge, but I do see the Kirby in it. I just don't. He doesn't exude to me the power that Kirby does, though.
Oh no. Because I think it's funny. He even named his company Pop Inc. I think, wasn't it?
AAA pop,
AAA Pop. Yeah. So see, yeah.
because the three Allreds, he, his wife, and his brother.
Okay.
You're still looking for
Crash Metro.
yeah. Still looking for that. You still haven't found it, have you?
No,
See, is that the one about the race car driver?
yeah, I think, or a
What's
robot or something.
I think I remember that book.
Yeah,
I think I had it.
it was a one shot.
I think I did have it.
It's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
And did you mention Lazarus?
He did. Yeah.
I
Lazarus.
mentioned
Lazarus was
yeah,
good. Yeah.
Lazarus is good. Well, you'd mentioned Velvet, and that for
Right.
some reason got me thinking Lazarus. Saga's been good.
If you're in it for the long story, yes.
Yeah, I gave up. Couldn't quite cut it.
Rat Queens has been good.
Yeah, that was an odd thing. The original artist did something. Was he arrested for abuse? I think.
I didn't hear about this.
And he got kicked off. And then they got this other artist. It was Linda Sedgwick was doing the art. I think that's who that was. The artist. But now they're bringing back the original artist. So I guess all is forgiven, and he's coming back to the book.
Was he like a harasser at cons or something?
I don't know if no, I think it was like domestic violence.
Uh,
Yeah, have you guys been reading any of the Doctor Strange since the movie's coming up pretty quick?
I read like the first 4 issues of the new series, and it was really good.
That was with Aaron writing it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I read some of it, and then I got a little behind. But yeah, it's been what I have read is pretty good.
I've read the first 12 issues. I enjoyed it. It's just, I don't know, when I see Doctor Strange, I don't want to see the depowered, I can't hardly do anything. I want to see, the 70s Doctor Strange, the hoary host of Hogarth, doing the spells that, you just like, what?
Right.
And
The Eye of Agamotto.
Yes.
And that's supposed to be in the movie?
It should be. I mean,
Well, that's his main.
And apparently they're saying it could be one of
One of
the
the stones.
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 Yeah.
Infinity
Stones.
Stones.
Which they did. Have you seen the new trailer for the Guardians Galaxy Part 2?
Yes.
So how did you feel about the Eye of Agamotto being one of the stones?
I don't know.
I don't think so either. It's I don't know.
I think they're reaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's
I kind of get it, but I think they're
It
reaching.
should be its own mystical entity or amulet or whatever.
Well, I mean, it's probably more for movie to
Right.
wrap up.
Yeah,
as
the
far
movie
as
verse it, yeah.
to kind of that way they can pull in that franchise. They're going to pull in Ant-Man going with Avengers, and Black Panther with Avengers, and kind of Winter Soldier, all that, and Captain America. That way, as far as the Marvel universe movie wise, kind of makes sense. So that way Hollywood can make a little more money if they bring more characters to it, and kind of
Well, I don't think a stone is going to pull you in though. So
maybe they wrote it really cool.
Maybe.
It could be awesome.
That's one really cool stone.
Maybe it's going to do something cool in the Doctor
the-
Strange movie that they didn't do before.
I saw something last week talking about Terry Moore is going to bring back Strangers in Paradise.
Yeah,
possibly.
in 2 years.
2 years.
Well,
But-
in 2 years, no one will even remember what Strangers in Paradise was.
Well,
Does anybody remember what Strangers in Paradise is now?
Oh, Dal does.
Yeah,
That does. That right.
I know,
Steve
yeah.
does.
That's the book. For some reason, I was thinking of Dallas, and I probably wouldn't like Strangers.
But he's got that new
It's
book,
too
Motor
emo.
Girl. It looks pretty interesting.
I did sign up for Motor Girl. That looked interesting. His last book was really good.
Rachel Rising.
Rachel Rising, yes, that was really good.
And Echo.
And Echo was pretty good too. I didn't get to read all of it, but a friend of mine, Steve, had some of them. I read some of those issues.
Yeah,
You know,
yours-
one thing that I think most people need to know is that with this relaunch of Archie, it's no longer the 4 or 5 page gags, you
No.
know, 4 or 5 pages setting up the punchline at the end. It is now an ongoing story.
Right. Well, he's a bassist or guitarist
He's a
in
guitarist.
the band. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, and Betty is in another band. They were bandmates, and then they
Broke up. Yeah.
because the lipstick incident.
And then you get, Veronica just moving into town, and it's been really good. And even Jughead, the second storyline of Jughead is great. How he falls in love with Sabrina, but he doesn't know it's Sabrina because she's wearing a giant hamburger costume. And she asks him out on a date while she's wearing the costume. And he says yes, and then he shows up to the date, and it's Sabrina, and he doesn't know what to do.
Now, did you read the new Batman Beyond rebirth?
I did not.
I have not read it yet. No.
The artwork's pretty good. I
Yeah.
like the cover. The story was okay.
Well, you get Terry McGinnis. I guess is back in that. So
Mhm.
so no more. There you go again. We lost Tim Drake.
Detective.
In Detective, and we also lost him as being Batman now in Batman Beyond. So see, that's
Now, there
Sucks.
in the latest catalog, the Batman Beyond. I haven't got a chance to read them yet, but the cover is really interesting. So
the Joker.
I'll definitely be putting that down on my order form.
Funny how none of us had Harley as a top 5 book.
Or Deadpool.
Or Deadpool.
Or Deadpool, yeah.
I mean, they
I
make
think
enough
they've
of
just
both.
they just saturated the market
Yeah.
with Harley and Deadpool. I think people are starting to get burned out on it.
Just as Hollywood's getting starting to like them,
Yeah.
comic fans are getting tired of them.
Comic fans, not all comic fans, but some comic fans. But going to the movies is getting more people to come in and pick them up.
Yeah.
And then while they're here looking for their latest Deadpool, might try something else out. So
But I think, for the long-term comic book reader, it's just too much money. I mean, there's, 57 titles of Harley Quinn, and 106 of Deadpool. I mean, first you want to pick them all up, and then, a month later you're like, this is as much as a house paint kind of deal. And so I think the oversaturation is kind of hurting it.
Yeah, because Suicide Squad is basically a Harley book.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Suicide Squad, 2 issues of that a month, 2 issues of Harley Quinn a month, the Harley Quinn's Little Black Book.
Mm-hmm.
Harley
And
and,
then-
her gang of Harleys.
Thank God that's over.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's now Suicide Squad basically.
Well, true.
I thought it was funny though is that when Suicide Squad showed up or started, the T-shirt she was wearing was Daddy's Little Monster, and now she's got a new T-shirt and a new saying T-shirt, and so she's
Yeah, I
no longer
didn't-
Daddy's Little Monster, I guess.
I didn't understand what that shirt meant.
I didn't either. So
What did the new shirt say?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Dal's going to check.
Dal's
Hold on
going to
just a
check.
sec.
He's got to run
I gotta
upstairs,
run upstairs real quick.
grab the
And,
issue. Yeah, I think Deadpool I think they're kind of oversaturated. It helped get a lot of new people back into comics or into comics, but I think
Well,
just oversaturation.
and this last issue was $10. Hit him with the Hein. What does that mean?
I don't know. I have to figure that out.
Anybody
knows?
If any listener knows, yeah. Sorry,
I think
Terry.
it's hit him with the Heine.
First one that answers the correctly, Dal will give him a prize. Although I don't know how we'll know if it's correct or not. So yeah, that's I guess my top 5 and books I've been reading.
Besides Cage, is there any other books that you'd kind of
What about you pick up some books for your daughter? What for kids? What is your daughter reading and liking?
Oh, well, anything involving kitty cats. No, she likes My Little Pony. of
Now, your
course.
daughter, she likes the kitty cat. She just turned 34, right?
She's a cat hoarder.
She'll be 11 next month. She likes, the My Little Pony books, the Scooby Doo.
Does she like the new Scooby-Doo?
No, she hates Scooby Apocalypse. When she saw the first issue, I asked her if she wanted. She was like, "That's not Scooby."
Right, it's just not the Scooby we know.
What else does she get? Boo, the world's cutest dog. There's a book called Hero Cats that she really likes. Grumpy Cat, of course, and Powerpuff Girls.
There you go. There's some recommendations for the younger readers.
Yep.
What about your kids? They pick up anything, or are they just still too young? I think you have one kid, your oldest. You probably can read comics, I guess, but you.
I mean,
get
he's
into it
6,
all?
he can do sight words pretty well.
Yeah.
I know a couple shows back you said that your wife was reading comics.
Yeah,
out
Sonic
loud-
the
to the
Hedgehog.
kids. Right, to the kids.
Yeah, they like Sonic. We do some Batgirl, but we'll read the Batgirl first, kind of depending on the issue.
Right.
I mean, our daughter's 4, so
And she doesn't talk.
well, and she's
Well,
shy.
not to
She
you.
talks,
Not,
yeah.
or you.
She's talked to me.
No,
But,
she hasn't.
She has to.
No, she hasn't.
Batgirl, they like, of course, Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk. So we'll have to read usually to them each night. Either pick a regular storybook or just a comic book, and they really enjoy those titles. I haven't shown my daughter the Frozen series. I think IDW puts out Disney's Frozen, and then or the My Little Ponies, because I think she'd have me buy them every week, just because she likes the little My Little Ponies, and she Netflixes up and watches them every day. So, and then Power Rangers. We picked up a few issues of those for my son. He likes the Power Rangers. Pretty much with them, and my wife didn't pick up any comic books. She'd rather.
She burns them.
She burns them
them,
and
yeah.
gets rid of them.
She specifically likes Whitman variants.
Yeah. Whitman variants, they burn better.
They burn hotter.
They burn hotter and brighter than anything. So she likes the smoke coming off them.
Well, anything else to add, guys?
Give Archie a chance.
I say stick with Star Wars.
What's your parting advice, Terry?
I say, why don't you give us your recommendations? Maybe there's a book you're reading that we haven't tried out, and we'll take a look, see what you've recommended, and give it a try.
I'm gonna push my favorites. Gwenpool, try it. Enjoy it. Gyrian,
He's always pushing stuff.
I'm always pushing. I'm a pusher. Reborn, from Mark Millar.
That was interesting.
It was it was.
I do enjoy most Millar books.
So
Yeah, there are writers or artists that you can always rely on.
yeah, but ever since Kick-Ass, really. I mean,
Mark
he's
Millar
done.
and
He always comes up with
Vaughn.
something strange.
Vaughn, yeah.
Brian Vaughn, Brubaker,
Although-
Rucka.
Although you don't like Saga, though.
Well, no,
I
read-
you don't like it. You gave. I mean, you read it, yeah, but
Yeah.
it just didn't. Which is odd because Why the Last Man, great book.
right.
He leaves that and does Saga, and it's a long story.
Yeah. Although
It's-
I think he failed with We Stand on Guard,
I think so. But of course, Runaways.
Mhm.
He did it. Awesome.
Paper Girls.
Paper Girls, yes. Yep.
So yeah, and again, Kieran Gillen and Jamie McKelvey.
Yeah.
They always do good quality stuff. I
Yeah,
think
for
Grant
sure.
Morrison always needs a website to explain what you just read.
So, Captain, do we have any giveaways this week?
We do. We'll let you draw one here, Eric.
We're not going to Just Kenny?
Well, he drew up the last one.
Okay.
Ryan won last week. We've got the groups there.
Oh, man. Come on, 7. Come on, 7. 7, come on, 11. Let's see.
Who do we got here? Ryan F.
Ryan F. So both
Faith. We
both
got
the
Faith.
Ryans have won something.
Yeah. Double R's.
Yeah.
R
Congratulations
squared.
to the Ryans.
Yes.
So, what do they win?
Sorry, Alan.
Sorry, Alan. I'll give him a comic set, their
Okay.
choice. So yeah.
Yeah,
we'll
I
do
know.
that,
I
so.
think I have an Aquaman set for Faith.
Do you? Okay,
Yep.
so
So he's a big Aquaman guy.
I know he's been looking for some, and Namor's too, wasn't he?
That's done again, Chris.
Chris is looking for Namor's. That's right. Doctor Strange.
Okay, very cool.
So, yeah. All right. Well, so for Comic Book Straight Talk, Captain Dalian.
Terry the French Tickler French,
Eric the Knucklehead Eaton.
Just Kenny.
and just Kenny.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thanks a
Thanks,
lot.
guys.
Appreciate it, guys.